Cedric Golden here, friends, where the Texas Longhorns roll into Dallas and take care of business. A redemption game for the Longhorns, 23-6 over the Oklahoma Sooners. Big time response from the disappointment at the Florida Swamp, and the Longhorns are in the win column in the SEC. Kudos to Arch Manning. It was a rough week for the Texas quarterback, but he responded in tough fashion, came back, completed 21 of 27 passes for a buck 66, another 34 on the ground, and a touchdown via air to DeAndre Moore Jr. That's 200 yards of offense from a quarterback who played his second turnover-free game of the season. And unlike last week, Arch Manning had help this time around. The offensive line opened up some holes for Quintravian Wisner to run for 94 yards of the 136. That's football balance, and they needed that in spades against the Sooners. That defense, much maligned after last week, very porous last week, took care of what they needed to take care of. John Mateer with that thumb that had surgery on 17 days ago came in and played. Said he didn't feel the effects of the thumb, but he threw 3 interceptions, 2 to Manny Muhammad and another one to young Grayson Littleton. The Longhorns, 0 sacks against Florida, 5 sacks against Oklahoma. Steve Sarkisian after the game was very pleased, but he was a little surly with the media. He said we talked a little guano over the last few days about his team. But you know what? When you play like that against a team you're supposed to beat, you know the detractors are going to come out. So that's going to happen, especially with the expectations on the 40 acres. You're preseason number 1, and you started 3-2. Now you're 4-2, 1-1 in the SEC with winnable games coming up against Kentucky Saturday, and then you got Mississippi State in Stark Vegas. So the Longhorns have a chance to do some damage in the SEC. Maybe, just maybe, their SEC title hopes are still a flame and not a flicker, because if they'd started 0-2, it wasn't going to happen. So it was a complete performance. They got it from all 3 areas. They did miss a couple of field goals, long field goals from Mason Shipley. One was 56 yards, which was an ill-advised call by Sark. Should have went for it on 4th and 3. No reason to not go for it on 4th and 3 there. 56 yards is a long field goal. But it's all good in the Austin hood because the Longhorns got a much-needed dub, 23-6 over the Oklahoma Sooners. Check out everything on hook'em.com. Danny Davis, Thomas Jones, David Eckert's got it on lock. Our dynamic duo of photographers, Sarah Diggins and Aaron Martinez, took some wonderful shots. Check those out as well. Longhorn Confidential podcast will drop on Tuesday, and the On Second Thought podcast with myself and Kirk Bowles will also be coming up on Thursday. Also encourage you to sign up for my newsletter, Ced's Corner. You can find it on statesman.com. It drops every Tuesday. Sign up and you'll get my takes via email. Once again, the Texas Longhorns take care of business, 23-6 over the Oklahoma Sooners. We'll be back with more next week. For now, thanks for tuning in. I'm Ced Golden. We'll see you next time.